San Francisco has always been a franchise built on stability, vision, and long-term planning, but now there are growing signs that something significant could be developing behind the scenes inside the San Francisco 49ers organization, and the conversations reportedly happening at the executive level may end up shaping the direction of this team for years to come. Reports suggest the front office has at least discussed the possibility of bringing in a new high-level executive who would essentially function as a day-to-day general manager, a move that would not necessarily remove current GM John Lynch from power, but could redefine responsibilities within the leadership structure, potentially positioning Lynch more as a president-style figure, while another voice handles roster mechanics and operational decisions. Even the idea of such a change is enough to raise eyebrows across the league, because stability has been one of the defining characteristics of this era under head coach Kyle Shanahan and Lynch, a partnership that has delivered multiple deep playoff runs, a Super Bowl appearance, and a consistent reputation as a contender when healthy. However, success in the NFL is rarely judged only by appearances or near misses, and recent seasons have introduced questions that simply did not exist a few years ago, particularly regarding roster construction efficiency, draft outcomes, and the long-term sustainability of the team's competitive window. One of the biggest shadows still lingering over the franchise remains the aggressive 2021 trade-up for quarterback Trey Lance, a move that cost significant draft capital and ultimately did not produce a long-term starter, especially when several elite players selected shortly afterward became stars elsewhere, creating a narrative that the 49ers may have miscalculated at a critical moment. While every organization has draft misses, the margin for error becomes much smaller when a roster is built around expensive veteran contracts and championship expectations, and that reality may be driving internal evaluations about whether structural adjustments could improve decision-making efficiency going forward. Importantly, the reported discussions do not necessarily indicate dissatisfaction with Lynch personally, because around the league he is widely respected not only for his football knowledge, but also for his leadership presence, communication skills, and ability to represent the franchise publicly, qualities that ownership values heavily, meaning any shift could be more about optimization than replacement. Still, perception matters, and once rumors of change begin circulating, they create an atmosphere of uncertainty that fans, players, and analysts all start interpreting in different ways, especially with the NFL scouting combine approaching, a period when executives traditionally address media and clarify organizational direction. From a competitive standpoint, the timing of these conversations also makes sense because the 49ers are at a delicate roster crossroads, balancing the need to remain contenders while preparing for inevitable transitions at key positions, and front office alignment becomes crucial when major contract decisions, draft strategies, and roster resets must happen simultaneously. Another layer to consider is how Shanahan's influence factors into any restructuring, since he has long been regarded as the central football voice in the building, and any addition of a new executive would have to fit within that power dynamic without disrupting the collaborative system that has produced winning seasons. Around the NFL, organizations often evolve their leadership models quietly, adding experienced evaluators or operational specialists to complement existing leadership, and sometimes those moves actually strengthen stability rather than threaten it. But the difference in this situation is visibility, because when a team with championship expectations appears to reconsider its hierarchy, it naturally sparks speculation about deeper concerns. From a strategic perspective, bringing in a new high-level personnel voice could offer advantages, including fresh scouting perspectives, improved cap allocation strategies, and more diversified risk assessment during draft evaluations, areas that can determine whether a contender sustains success or slowly declines. Fan reaction is also likely to be mixed, with some supporters interpreting the move as proactive leadership committed to maximizing the championship window, while others may worry it signals internal tension or uncertainty about the current regime. Ultimately, what matters most is results, and the 49ers remain one of the most talented rosters in football when healthy, meaning any structural adjustment would be judged almost entirely by whether it helps deliver the one achievement still missing from this era, a Super Bowl title. The coming weeks could therefore become extremely important, not necessarily because a dramatic change is guaranteed, but because even the possibility of evolution inside the front office highlights the relentless pressure that exists at the highest levels of professional football, where success is temporary, expectations are permanent, and organizations must constantly adapt to stay ahead. Whether this reported conversation leads to an actual hire or simply fades away as off-season speculation, it has already accomplished one thing by revealing that even one of the league's most respected franchises is still searching for ways to improve, and that mindset alone may ultimately determine whether the 49ers remain contenders or finally break through to championship glory in the seasons ahead.